This video is to go over the Quadrilateral Properties quiz that was on Google Classroom. So in the first question, they asked us, if you have quadrilateral ABCD, which of the following properties will ABCD always be a parallelogram? So I'm going to draw it as if it is a parallelogram. And then look at the properties. So the first choice was both pairs of opposite sides are congruent. If you have those conditions, that is a parallelogram. Okay, then the second situation, they say that both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. In that situation, that is also a parallelogram. Choice 3, the diagonals bisect each other. Okay, that is true in a parallelogram. The diagonals bisect each other. So if you have a quadrilateral and the diagonals bisect each other, then it's a parallelogram. Choice 4, both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. This is why you have to memorize the properties, because what this question is doing is it's literally listing the properties of a parallelogram. Both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. That would make it a parallelogram. That's true. And then the one that tends to elude kids is if you have one pair of opposite sides that are congruent and parallel, that will make it a parallelogram. So the answer is all of the above. Okay, you need to memorize all these properties. So for the next question, they have a parallelogram, so you're starting off with a parallelogram. And then for which of the following properties will ABCD always be a rectangle? So you have a parallelogram. This is choice 2. And ABCD. And we want it to be a rectangle. So if both pairs of opposite angles are congruent, does that give it any more specification than we previously had above? No, it's the same as this. So that does nothing. The diagonals are perpendicular. So if the diagonals are perpendicular, well, let me draw it so that that would actually happen. So when the diagonals are perpendicular, that does do something to the parallelogram, because we're starting off with a parallelogram. So now if the diagonals are perpendicular, that will force it to be a rhombus, not a rectangle. So then they have the diagonals are congruent. Okay, that is true only in a rectangle and a square, but in a rectangle. So that would be the answer. Choice 3. Diagonals congruent. Choice 4 said one pair of adjacent sides are congruent. If one pair of adjacent sides are congruent, that doesn't necessarily make it a rectangle. It makes it a rhombus. Okay, I'm going to upload this video and then I'll go over the other questions. Thank you.